Hello, Vegas. Give me $100 on red.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're taking a closer look at every time Homer Simpson lost big money.
Homie, you knucklebeak. I told you 100 times. You gotta sell your pumpkin futures before Halloween. Before.
All right, let's not panic. I'll make the money back by selling one of my livers. I can get by with one.
Some things in life are set in stone. The Earth rotates around the sun, the tides ebb and flow, and The Simpsons will always be on TV somewhere. And at the heart of it all, there is but one man.
And you didn't think I'd make any money. I found $1 while I was waiting for the bus.
While you were out earning that dollar, you lost $40 by not going to work.
A role model for his kids, husband of the year, employee of the month? Not exactly. Homer's heart is usually in the right place, but his brain? And that means when it comes to money, he's had some questionable moments.
It's true! The jar is empty! Oh my God! We're ruined. Christmas is canceled. No presents for anyone!
So, just how much has he lost or missed out on over the years? Let's find out.
Marge, let me be honest with you.
Yes?
Well, I want to do the Christmas shopping this year.
Sure, okay.
Starting as he clearly meant to go on, Homer's first brush with financial ruin actually comes in the show's first episode. Christmas is almost derailed when A, Homer's holiday bonus gets canceled, B, Marge spends the family's emergency fund paying to remove a tattoo from Bart, and C, in desperation, Homer loses the $13 he makes as a shopping mall Santa by betting on a 99-to-1 huge outsider at the dog track.
99 times 13 equals Merry Christmas!
I got a bad feeling about this.
That losing bet does soon become the ever-loyal family pet Santa's Little Helper, but in the meantime, Homer's trend for losing money is up and running. Including the unspecified missed bonus, he's already down thousands. But we'll start slow and only mark the loss of his St. Nick paycheck, just to get the ball rolling.
That's right, $120 gross. Less Social Security, less
Yes.
unemployment insurance,
But-
less Santa training,
Santa
less
training?
costume purchase,
Wait a
less
minute.
beard rental, less Christmas
But-
club.
but-
See you next year.
Oh!
Into season 2, and the stakes are suddenly a lot higher. The setup? Bart's skating through town when he's hit by none other than Springfield's richest man, Mr. Burns.
I think the boy's hurt. Oh, for crying out loud! Just give him a nickel and let's get going. I think we should call an ambulance, sir.
Initially, Burns offers up $100 on the quiet at work, but the situation escalates until he and Homer end up in front of a judge. Burns then tries to settle out of court, and here's where Homer loses big. With The Simpsons initially seeking $1 million, Burns offers half at $500,000.
$500,000.
Goodness!
Homer rejects. Burns learns of some creative case building in the process,
Phony doctors, hello.
and our man ends up with nothing. The tension is even enough to threaten Homer and Marge's marriage at one stage. But they pull through, even if their bank balance doesn't.
You know what would have really been cool? If we got that $1 million.
Bart, please.
What? We could have bought tons of great stuff, Mom. Maids, a pool, fancy sweaters. Stop me if I'm wrong.
Marge, dear, would it be all right if I went over to Moe's for a drink?
Onward to season 3, and Homer manages to bizarrely miss out on the same astronomical amount again. In the episode Flaming Moe's, it's the bartender who's initially down on his luck.
What's the matter, Moe?
Business is slow. People today are healthier and drinking less.
But then Homer cuts him into a secret recipe for a flaming drink that quickly saves the bar. The only problem is Moe takes all the credit, and he and Homer fall out, a situation that eventually plunges Homer into some low-level insanity.
I'm the magical man from Happy Land in a gumdrop house on Lollipop Lane.
Eventually, Moe's persuaded to sell the recipe and split the $1 million price with Homer. And it could have been oh so lucrative. It's just that right then is when Homer snaps and reveals all for free.
The secret ingredient is
Homer, no!
cough syrup. Nothing but plain, ordinary, over-the-counter children's cough syrup.
And like that, we're into 7 figures. Next comes another so close yet so far moment. And while Marge is really at the heart of it, the hurt of lost money is by no means lost on Homer.
I have a feeling that we may win the lottery!
In season 3's Dog of Death, Santa's little helper falls ill, and his treatment forces the Simpsons to cut back, which for Marge means no more weekly lottery ticket. Homer's already depressed enough after not winning the previous jackpot, but it gets worse when Marge's one skipped draw turns out to be the one time she would have won.
Oh no, those are my numbers. If it wasn't for that dog, I would have won.
Consider that it's in this story that we also get to see exactly how Homer would spend if he were ever rich, and you gotta really feel for him. In and around this early 90s era for The Simpsons, and we have plenty more notable money fails.
Oh, what do they want?
First, there's when Homer sold his shares in the power plant just too early.
You'll get $25 if you sell now.
Sell, sell, sell! Woohoo!
He pockets $25 to spend on beer, yes, but he could have bagged $5,200 if only he had waited it out. Marge had a savings account planned, but c'est la vie.
I sold it all for $25. Oh!
Come on, everybody, it makes you feel better.
Then there's when Homer might have sued Burns for millions on account of nuclear plant-triggered infertility. But instead, he settles for a $2,000 check and an impromptu but worthless award.
This award is the biggest farce I ever saw.
He then almost loses the $2,000 by investing in his brother Herb, but that's another story.
I gave Herb all the money I had in the world, and he still treats me like something he dug out of his ear.
There's no specified amount here, so we'll go easy and add only a single million to the count. Just a few short episodes later, and Bart chooses an elephant over $10,000 after winning a radio phone-in. Homer tries and fails to convince him to go with the cash, so it's only fair we chalk this one up too.
With $10,000, we'd be millionaires!
Then he manages to lose a load more cash on said elephant. So that's going on as well. There's a brief mention of plundered thousands, but we'll stick with the less but more definite number calculated in this hilarious scene.
Look at this, Marge. $58 and all of it profit. I'm the smartest businessman in the world.
Stampy's food bill today was $300.
Marge, please don't humiliate me in front of the money.
Next, and there's a somewhat hazy moment for our purposes when, in Burns' heir, Homer really does sign away his own son so that Bart can inherit Burns' untold fortune.
Just sign here, and your son will stand to inherit my entire estate.
It's hazy here because A, the inheritance that Bart eventually gives up is more his loss than Homer's, and B, Burns' fortune is never explicitly revealed in this case. Oh, and C, despite Bart eventually turning on his would-be mentor and sending him through the open trapdoor, we never actually see that contract from earlier get revoked.
You can never be my king!
So you never know. Perhaps Bart still is Burns' heir after all. Either way, it's another important moment in the money-losing character building of Homer J. But we'll leave it off his total this time around. Now though, and what's clearly beyond doubt, is that Homer does not know a bargain when he finds one.
That's my son up there!
What, the balding fat ass?
In terms of episode running order, this moment comes shortly before both when Bart gets an elephant and when he almost pockets the Burns fortune. It's a side gag, but a costly one, when during a neighborhood swap meet, Homer goes rummaging in a 5 cents each box.
Junk. The airplane's upside down.
So what did we have there? A seemingly first draft of the US Constitution, known to have sold for $43.2 million before now. An apparently first edition of Action Comics 1, known to have sold for $3.2 million before now. An entire sheet of inverted Jenny postage stamps. At even the lower estimate, they sell for upwards of $1 million per stamp, and Homer passes on 35 of them. And a Stradivarius violin, which, condition and provenance dependent, values at $15 million or more.
Stratohovius?
So that's almost $100 million in one cardboard box, and now we're really racking it up. How about some sugar to take the edge off? Near the start of season 6, and that's Homer's next great scheme at least.
We hit the jackpot here! White gold! Texas tea! Sweetener!
For the briefest of moments, his questionable expediency leads him to become a full-time sugar baron. It's the kind of business that could only make sense to Homer. And ultimately, it is an investment that comes back to haunt him when he comes oh so close to a $2,000 payoff, only for a storm to break and his chance to disappear.
We're willing to pay you $2,000 for the swarm.
Deal!
Oh, wait a minute. The bees are leaving.
My sugar is melting!
Homer's hard luck with foodstuffs continues later in season 6, when a mistimed buy-up of pumpkins lands him needing to do the unthinkable and borrow money from Patty and Selma.
We'll take care of you. Yes, care.
In this case, the issue is eventually sidestepped without any serious or long-lasting financial hit, and Homer's rocky relationship with his wife's sisters just about remains in one piece.
I'll get along with them. Then I will hug some snakes. Yes, I will hug and kiss some poisonous snakes!
The total remains untouched, although Homer's dignity does take another beating. We're now well into the mid to late 90s in terms of air date, and thankfully Homer's money issues do seem to briefly slow down. Yes, there's that time he parts with more than $10 million worth of prize Greyhound puppies for free.
I'll bet whoever gave him those dogs is kicking themselves now.
And true, the Simpson family as a whole missed out when Grandpa and Bart couldn't quite keep hold of the hellfish cache of lost art.
Freeze! U.S. State Department. We'll take those.
And then Bart and Lisa also had a brief brush with a briefcase stuffed with banknotes, all of which were eventually lost into a dam.
Oh, shoot!
But for the most part, Homer manages to more or less keep it together. That is, until the living nightmare that is and was Little Lisa's recycling plant. Once again, Mr. Burns is at the heart of the story when he forms an unlikely partnership with Lisa, who believes that he is a changed man. Excellent. But of course, he is not. The recycling plant is actually the opposite of what it should be, but Burns uses it to get rich anyway. Most memorably, though, he sells it for $12 million and offers Lisa 10%. Lisa turns it down for the sake of her morals, causing Homer to literally almost die. And the real kicker comes right at the end.
I'm sorry, Dad.
It's alright. I understand. But we really could have used that $12,000.
Dad, 10% of $120 million isn't $12,000. It's...
Code blue. Code blue.
What's truly shocking, however, is that we haven't even arrived at Homer's two largest losses yet. They're incoming, but let's just clear up some more of the smaller stuff beforehand.
For there will be no fire truck for little Bart, no sweater for little Lisa, no Cajun sausage for little Homer.
Let's see, there's the $15,000 of charitable donations that he goes and blows on an overpriced car just to crash it into an icy lake at Christmas.
Oh, I knew this would happen!
Plus the failed grease business that he and Bart try to hatch. No confirmed major losses besides, again, with the dignity.
Oh, that's my grease! It's mine! Give it here!
And not forgetting all that unspecified cash he blew when he briefly thought he was fated to die soon.
No car, no money, no clean clothes, and it's all your fault.
I love being married.
But again, all of that is really just fluff before the main event. The second most and most that this lovable fool has ever thrown away. First, we've come to tomacco.
Tomacco? That's pretty clever, Dad. I mean, for a product that's evil and deadly.
In an iconic piece of trademark financial foolhardiness, Homer stumbles across what could be a miracle crop, the bitter but addictive blend of tomatoes and tobacco. Tomacco. The setup? He's hiding out at his family's old farm on account of him having to flee from a pistols-at-dawn duel. As you do. And despite all the flimsy morality of tomacco, it very clearly makes the Simpsons rich.
Well, let's say $150 million.
100!
May I speak to my family for a moment?
That is, until greed gets the better of them, Homer demands $150 billion instead, the deal falls apart, and some dangerously addicted farmyard animals destroy the plant that started it all.
Give them the plant, Homer.
No, I'd rather die.
Take it!
There is a lesson to be learned here, but for now, all that matters is a massive climb on the counter.
How did you want to pay me the $150 million? Cash will be okay.
But wait, there's still an even bigger hit to come, with Homer's greatest loss of cash of all.
No!
Because in an episode that actually aired a couple of seasons before the tomacco catastrophe, The Trouble with Trillions, Homer's taxes land him in big trouble with the government. And in a bid to get off scot-free, he starts working as an informant for the FBI. One thing leads to another, and before you know it, Homer's in the know about a one-off moment in American financial history.
$1 trillion bill.
Ooh, $1 trillion bill. That's a spicy meatball.
And then, he winds up turning against the suits, landing in cahoots with Mr. Burns and on the run from Law & Order, all the way to Cuba. Now, in a fateful meeting with Castro, Homer plays a pivotal part in instantly losing his share of some truly enormous wealth.
Mr. Burns, I think we can trust the president of Cuba.
Now give it back.
What back?
Adding 1/3 of $1 trillion onto our number just like that. In truth, the losses are never bigger than they were in Cuba.
Woo! That's a relief.
But still, there are plenty more moments easily huge enough for this video. Such as in Season 14, Episode 5, when injured Homer settles for hockey tickets.
If he's smart, he'll hold out for millions.
Woohoo! I got skybox tickets! And with only 20% loss of my brain function.
And in Season 14, Episode 11, when Homer confesses to having spent all of Bart's earnings from the time he was a child actor in order to hush up some incriminating photographs.
I know this looks bad, but if you reverse it, Daddy's a hero. See? What? I saved you!
You stole my money!
There's also when he sunk $5,000 on poker in Moe's basement.
I lost everything.
When a freshly zen Homer cut the power to lose Bart's share of $500,000 at a gaming tournament.
So beautiful. Must destroy.
There were these dubious purchases, which were enough to inspire a bout of money saving by Marge.
$5,000 on donuts, $2,000 on scalp massages, $500 on body glitter.
And not forgetting the time when Homer's $10,000 inheritance disappeared after Grandpa got scammed.
I had an inheritance and you gave it away? I'm so mad I could kill you, but now I'd get nothing.
Or in the same episode when he fell for a pyramid scheme. Of course, there are countless smaller losses too, like that $20 he lost by slipping on a peanut, the unknown amount sunk into the North American Sumo League, the fistful he lost when the carnies saw him coming.
How about you, Lucky?
Who, me?
The list could go on and on. And so, if there's one thing that this little deep dive should teach us, it's don't watch The Simpsons if you ever need financial advice.
Lisa, if you don't like your job, you don't strike. You just go in every day and do it really half-assed. That's the American way.
Don't bet all you have on the Greyhounds at Christmas. Try not to invest in an elephant, skip the lottery, overstock on sugar, or negotiate with Cuba. Do everything that Homer doesn't, and you might just be okay.
How much money do we have put aside in case something happens to you?
None.
To recap, here's the final tally. It's a big number. And remember, some of the unspecified losses have actually been left off. So many of the most chaotic career moves don't even directly contribute. Homer Simpson, how do you do it?
You know, I've had a lot of jobs. Boxer, mascot, astronaut, imitation Krusty, baby proofer, trucker, hippie, plow driver, food critic, conceptual artist, grease salesman, carny, mayor, grifter, bodyguard for the mayor, country western manager, garbage commissioner, mountain climber, farmer, inventor, smithers, poochie, celebrity assistant, power plant worker, fortune cookie writer, beer baron, quickie mart clerk, homophobe, and missionary. But protecting Springfield, that gives me the best feeling of all.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Over and above everything else though, the fact remains that rich or not, Homer is one of the single greatest TV characters of all time. What he lacks in money smarts, he makes up for, well, in this kind of thing.
He's not some kind of food-crazed maniac.
Oh, the raspberry.
In this.
Ooh, boogie, 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 boogie.
In this.
Homer, there's a family of possums in here.
I call the big one Bitey.
The never-ending quest to line his wallet is just one of the reasons why the entire world loves this guy.
Just because we're not rich doesn't mean that we don't have... Oh no, I can't even finish. I want to be rich.
Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.